Welcome to Totally Tell Me, a weekly entertainment review podcast where we talk about movies, music, food, and fun. My name's Dominic Mercurio, and I am here with Laura Weinbach.
Hello. Welcome.
What's up? I only know how to start a show one single way, and if I don't do that, then it's like the show has not begun for me, and so I have to do that. It's actually like a compulsive thing.
Listen, pain don't hurt to me.
And our guest today is Max Weinbach. What's up, Max?
How's it going?
Staying strong, brother.
Staying strong.
Max Weinbach, the name might sound familiar. Weinbach, Laura's brother. I didn't mess it up this time. Sometimes I say Laura's sister. Sometimes I say, my brother.
What if Laura
which could be true too.
Sister? Laura, do you wish you had a sister?
I do have a sister from another mister. I do. I have a few.
What do you mean by what even do you mean?
What don't I mean by it? It's obvious. I got friends.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, they're not friends. They're sisters.
Oh, they're sisters. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. But that's honestly the extent of all we know.
What's that?
Right. If you heard. No, I'm letting it be. I'm letting it lay. If you heard any music before this and the various times we sort of started and restarted, you heard I Feel Fine by Little Person. That was our intro music today. Little Person is Max's band with his brother, Nicky. Max has also been on the show multiple times, plenty of times in the past with Nicky, but this is actually his first time on the podcast solo. This is a solo affair. How's it feel, Max?
It's definitely a solo affair of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel as if you sort of have like a phantom limb syndrome right now? Sort of like you feel as though there should be another, but yet there is not, or no?
No, it's all good.
When people
you feel naked.
If they get their arm chopped off, they sometimes feel as though their arm is still there.
It's funny that you mentioned a phantom limb because we'll talk about it later with regards to the movie we just watched.
Do you feel naked?
No.
And afraid?
Wait, what do you think I just said?
If I feel...
What do you think I just said?
Do you feel naked?
No, I didn't say that. I said, do you feel Nicky? Filth mine. What the hell are you talking about over here? My God, this is getting X-rated. It's cool.
Well, it's like kind of like the way, like an urban kind of way of saying naked, like naked.
It's like Nike.
Naked. You know how they say? Do you feel naked?
Do you feel rated? Do you feel rated?
Rated?
Do I feel rated?
What the hell?
Do I feel rated? I watched Mortal Kombat recently.
Holy shit. Actually, can we talk about that ever so briefly?
That's hardcore.
Are you talking about the new one?
The
2021?
new one, yeah.
I couldn't finish it.
It's very
What'd you
bad.
think?
I can't believe you started it.
Well,
nor can I.
How dare you?
It's Mortal Kombat,
That does not make it seem...
it does, though.
It does, Dominic, and back me up on this. Some of the previews, I was like, okay, I like the idea of seeing fatalities in kind of like human, like actual, on screen,
I mean, sure.
Not animated kind of a thing.
I don't know.
And, I just thought, okay, this is going to be like a kickback, relaxed kind of movie, but it is very bad. I will say, though, there are a couple scenes of action, or even just a couple moments of action where I think, okay, that's kind of cool. I did think the first scene, I was intrigued by in the movie from the first scene that they showed, because I thought
the flashback.
Yeah, I thought the choreography was really good in that, and I thought, okay, this could be cool. And then it looks cheap after that. It just gets kind of, it feels cheap, like Yeah, it just, I don't know.
It's bad.
We have a little guy wanted to chime in really quick.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to chime in and say that, I think one thing that you can kind of appreciate about the new Mortal Kombat movie is that what Max was saying, basically, that some of the ways that they depicted some of the moves from the game, and including the fatalities, was pretty good, and the effects looked pretty good. Other times, stuff looked fake, such as Goro. Didn't really look very real. But there were certain effects that looked pretty good, And yeah, the opening scene of the movie, which kind of doesn't have a lot to do with the rest of the movie, really established a more professional tone in a way, or it seemed higher budget, and it seemed like it was going to be maybe, oh, this looks like a legitimate movie with some legitimate actors. And then it, kind of the tone changes after that opening scene. But yeah, it was cool to see some of the effects, I think. Yeah.
Laura,
I didn't even make it to Goro.
Laura, you should have, you had your microphone like Brent was at a newscast, and you should have went like, all right, now back to you, Dominic. This has been Audie Cornish with CBS News or something like that.
Yeah, it is sort of like you're live on the scene.
This has been Body Doubles by CBS Live.
Thank you. I'm getting reports that there was yet another Weinbach in the room. His name was Brent. He's been on the show.
Right. We have a few helicopters here flying in from down DTLA, KTLA, and they're giving him a lift over to, Chibo's.
Chibo's.
I'm wondering at this point, like, should I just change my name to Weinbach? I'm feeling a little left out.
You already did. Hey,
okay,
guess what, Dominic? You already did.
Got it. Great.
Well, no.
Now, Laura,
Dominic, you didn't do it. Actually, it already did. It just happened. It's part of. It happens.
I feel no different. Should I? Is there a way that Weinbachs feel that?
That's the magic. You don't feel different.
Well, fuck me. Anyways,
actually, guess
Laura,
what? Guess what?
Yeah,
we already did. Already did.
I should also briefly mention that we are going to review The Fugitive in a little bit here. The Fugitive is a 1993 action thriller starring Harrison Ford. We all watched it for this podcast. First half of the episode, we're just going to kind of chit chat as we are currently doing. And, we like to start with the guests around here. But I'm going to throw a curveball and just sort of like, I would have asked you this in the pre-show, Laura, because I'm not really like positive if this is like now, if this is taboo or not. I mean, do you know what I'm referring to?
Like if it's public record?
Right. Like, well, I mean, just blink twice if you want me to stop.
It's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all? Okay, cool. Well, Laura, do you have any sort of things that you might want to say just to kind of kick things off, perhaps?
Well, why don't you ask me some stuff and I'll say yes.
Oh, okay.
So, wait, can I ask a question to kick things off?
Yeah.
Laura, did you just finish watching the movie that we're supposed to watch? No, I'm just kidding.
That.
Ask the question that really is on your mind, Dominic. That you.
Well, what is the question?
Have you been eating lately?
What am I eating? I mean, I don't know. I ate some cookies, but while I was waiting.
Okay, we're skipping the.
What are you trying to get at here?
Are you pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I mean, Laura posted about it on Facebook and whatnot.
You did. Very exciting, though. I mean, yeah. How's it feel that people can know now, huh?
It feels good. Yeah. Today, the baby was like, wanted me to get a donut. So I had to go to this donuts and coffee place, and they had these vanilla bean donuts. And
And did the baby also want you to have licorice, which you were eating?
The baby was like, if you don't get me some fucking red vines, I'm gonna throw a conniption.
Are those the red vines that are
I'm gonna
like
kick
all
your fucking ass?
Are those
I mean the ass on the inside. What?
Are those all natural red vines or something like that?
They are.
And how do they
decided
compare?
to go forth with this? So Brent bought these out of sheer curiosity.
And
the
curious verdict.
Honestly, I don't like them as much. They're a little on the sort of more tangy, soury side. They're brighter. I would describe them as brighter. They call themselves mixed berry twists. It's for you to decide, I would say. Brent thinks they taste the same as regular vines. I can tell that they taste pretty different. I think they taste different. I also think the texture is ever so slightly different. Leans more towards the side of a Twizzler, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Brent likes Twizzlers more, though. I think.
Yeah, he does.
I don't agree with this.
I don't necessarily like. I don't like Twizzlers more necessarily. I don't necessarily like Twizzlers. Yeah, I don't. necessarily like Twizzlers more. They're just different. And second of all, they don't taste like Twizzlers to me. They taste more like Red Vines, but I do think they taste a little different, but they taste pretty similar.
I don't like either.
Twizzlers more?
I don't know. I think they're different.
Oh, okay. Back
And
to
that
you.
right. Back to you, Dominic.
Back to me. Oh, great. Well, look, congrats, Laura. Obviously,
Thank you.
I'm thrilled. We've had multiple times, I will say, on this show where I feel like it was almost like a nip slip scenario.
Right,
Sort of like
totally.
a Super Bowl Janet Jackson nip slip scenario where we were almost saying something that was like on the teetering edge
Right.
of perhaps not okay yet.
Can I
But I'm
just
glad
do a
we pulled through.
very quick diversion really quick? I just felt that this would be really funny. Like, you know how on shows sometimes when they're like a tell-all show, there's a person that chooses to remain anonymous. What if it was like there was a show about this guy who had like a worm that came out of his butt after he ate something bad? Imagine if this was their way of doing like the anonymous. I was walking down the hall and I felt something tugging, slapping against my thigh.
It's like Brent's
I looked
feeding
inside
lines
the
to her.
toilet and I felt it was moving. I don't know how it happened, but it was awful.
You know, there's that
Back to
show
you.
that's I didn't know I was pregnant. I feel like that's what you were
Oh,
just
right,
describing.
right. But
Right.
wouldn't it be funny if this was their way of like blacking them out? You know how they like
Right.
shadow them?
Oh yeah, like they're embarrassed that they didn't know they were pregnant, and
right,
but
or
yet
something
they
like
were.
that. Anyway,
All of a
carry on.
sudden, a baby plopped.
all of a sudden,
I know, but
a baby
it was funny because
plopped.
if you notice, Brent was kind of feeding lines to her just now. It would be kind of
kinda
funny.
was.
If, well, no, but it would be kind of funny if like if that was like a staged play and those were the actual lines Brent was like. Imagine being on a stage and like someone was feeding you lines and those are the lines that you were actually supposed to say on stage. Like, what kind of play would that be? Wouldn't that be kind of funny?
It'd be called Weeklo.
Weeklo? What?
No,
Oh,
like
the
this-
Sartre, Jean-Paul Sartre thing?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Mhm.
How's you, Max?
Yeah, Max, what's up? How's you
What's
been?
up, my guest?
Well, I got my tomorrow at around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be full-fledged vaccinated, full force.
Vaxxed and backed.
Vaxxed and
Backed to action.
As much as you can.
and cracked. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean as
can.
much as you can't? Wait, what?
Meaning, you're not.
Meaning I got both doses. It's been 2 weeks since it'll be
Right,
2 weeks
but you-
since I got my last dose.
You can't get fully. There's no such thing. I mean, like if as vaccinated as you can be.
No, he means that he's fully activated,
I'm fully activated by what the vaccine can possibly do is what I mean.
Yeah.
which is pretty full. What is it, like
Yeah.
98?
Actually,
98
Brent,
degrees?
you're incorrect by saying that. I'm saying I'll be fully vaccinated, which means as far as the vaccination's purposes can do, I will be fully of that. You know what I'm saying?
We got Chris Flieger up in here saying Max vax to the max.
That's right.
Eager.
That's right.
So-
Peter.
I would agree with that. But what are you gonna do to celebrate, Max? Are you gonna
Nikki and I are going to order a nice large pizza.
Okay. Have you not ordered a pizza in over a year?
We have not, no.
So
Really?
you would not go so far as to
I
go
will say
have a pizza
we
in public.
We did on our birthday. My sister and my mom, or Laura and my mother, ordered a pizza for us
Yeah.
from a nice restaurant.
And what about me?
Well, Brent, I thought Brent wasn't in on the pizza. He did order a dinner with our friend Andrew for us, actually.
Oh.
Exactly.
He was
So-
like, oh, and then I put the mic there, and he was like, oh.
So,
Anyway,
but we have been very, even though, they have, CDC has said, like, you most likely can't get it from outside, like from stuff, outside and stuff like that, delivery. Nikki and I have been extremely strict about it, and we just don't really trust that. And we've just been like, cooking all of our stuff. Or I should say Nikki's been really cooking, I guess. But in any event, we've
so
not
you don't.
really,
Nikki does all the cooking between the two of you.
for the most, yeah.
I mean, don't you gotta like get those groceries from places and shit?
Yeah, well, we wait we have like a system where we wait 3 days. We wait 3 days before we use those groceries.
Whoa. Okay.
So
It's extreme. Go ahead.
Is Nikki the woman in the relationship, or
What is it supposed to be, the woman that cooks?
Well, the old saying, you don't want to be a man, then go be a woman and cook, or something like that.
What?
Yeah, it's a
I've
saying.
never heard that in my life.
It's a saying.
That's a saying?
I
Well,
might have
anyway,
wrote
so
it.
you're gonna get a pizza, and then like, what kind of pizza is it gonna be? Have you already
hold on,
decided, or?
do you tell Nikki, all right, Nikki, I want my food. Where's my food? And you sort of sit there at the table. Like,
Well, it's kind of been mostly like this. Is usually the cases that Nikki's kind of like ahead of me on the scheduling of. Well, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of this. It's not important and it doesn't even really matter. But for whatever reason, Nikki's been cooking more.
Okay.
quick question, real quick. Do you ever slap him around or anything? I mean,
All right, it's not.
Max doesn't like that. It's sexist against Nikki, who is the
Nikki's
woman.
out of line. Nikki's out of line.
Nikki feels
Well,
really...
if he's out of line, he wants to be slapped. Actually, that's it. For sure.
Really?
I'm just
How
kidding.
does he?
It's not on. It's not on Facebook.
Nikki's like, don't.
Tell them it's on twitch.tv/totally tell me. By the way,
No,
that's the
I'm
only
just
place
kidding.
that we're
By
live
the way,
today.
that is not how the dynamic of our relationship is, and I don't even almost.
You don't like to go there.
I don't want to fuel the fire of somebody thinking, even like in a joking way, that some kind of dynamic of that.
You both slap each other around. It's all good.
Exactly.
So you're still.
I don't like that.
I'm more curious in this
You're the one
pizza
who brought it
personally.
up.
I'm
I'm
kidding.
more
I
curious in
didn't
the
bring it
pizza.
up.
I'm more curious in okay, so you're gonna get this pizza, but then like what's gonna be the next step from there? Like what will it take for you to I don't know, eat a pizza but like in a park?
Right. In a park.
Well, we're definitely gonna go. We've been to the park actually.
Okay, all right.
What's it going to take for you to eat the pizza in the parlor?
You mean?
In a pizza parlor.
Yeah.
Oh, inside there.
I'm at the hair parlor. When are you going to have a hair pizza?
No, but that is a true thing actually. Will I eat inside?
And when are you going to get your hair cut by a Barbara?
Well, we are gonna get a haircut.
Wait, ask me what a Barbara is.
What's a Barbara?
Well, it's like a female barber.
And so would a Barbara Ann would be a female barber named Ann.
Nope, they don't. That's not a thing. Sorry, but what is it going to take? No, what's it going to take to go into the barber? I mean, to the
I'm going to get a haircut. We have a wedding to go to in July, so I'm going to get a haircut in June.
That's cool. But what about eating the pizza in the parlor? When's that going to happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I suppose I'd prefer still to eat outside, although I don't know. What do you guys think? How are you feeling about eating
I think once
inside?
you go to the Barbara, you're going to be like, you know what? This feels good. I want to keep going with this.
No,
Feed me.
Dominic, have you been eating inside?
No.
Are you fully vaxxed?
I'm fully vaxxed, yeah. Also waited my 2 weeks, so it's vaxxed to the maxed. And I eat now at restaurants outside, that's my new thing.
What about
Right,
inside?
but are you going to eat inside though?
I've not yet, but
We're
would
going
I?
to. We're going to
When are
get
you-
Japanese
I would.
barbecue, right?
You would now?
I would.
We're going
I
to.
would.
I'm a little-
It's on. We're doing it in like
Here's
a
the
couple
thing.
weeks.
I feel a bit apprehensive about all that, but at a certain point, one is going to have to just start reacclimating yourself to how.
The thing is,
Baby steps.
I don't know how New York is doing, but like California right now is like record low for the whole thing. Also, San Francisco is something like over 90% vaccinated, which is insane.
Wow, that is. They could reach herd. That's like herd immunity right there.
Well, yeah, but like 10% is like, a lot of people.
No,
but at this point, it's kind of like the people who aren't getting it are choosing not to get it. Like we do have the supply here, and so at this point, it's like if you haven't gotten it, you're choosing to not get it.
If you haven't gotten it, you're like.
I believe, Laura, though, herd immunity only requires. I could be totally wrong about this, but if I remember, Fauci was saying that it was like 75% of the population would have needed to get the vaccine to reach herd immunity. And so if the population of San Francisco is 90%, then I think that's like good enough, right?
Could be, but
Could be.
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if you can have herd immunity. I mean, can you really have herd immunity like per city?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you were to put a bubble around that population of that city,
but you
then
can't.
You would have reached.
Like the point is at this point, San Francisco is we're kind of like killing it, as in no one is dying.
No one is getting killed.
Like no one is getting killed.
As in no one is getting killed.
Yeah.
New York, the cases are dropping and it's coming down, but it's definitely not as good as Los Angeles or Well,
we went to a restaurant for the first time, like so I came here. I'm here in LA right now, as you might have guessed or seen. And I came here for Mother's Day, a late Mother's Day, and we took my mom to dinner at Pache restaurant down the street from our house.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we ate there.
Actually,
that was the first time we've eaten as a family.
Inside? You ate inside?
Well, we ate in the inside outhouse.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
If you know what I mean by that.
The inside outhouse, yeah.
There's like an outside inside.
This is sort of like a a sort of a covering area that's
It's kind of a covered outside inside area. It's a real scene in there, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what.
Was there some celebrities?
All kinds of sort of celebutants.
Celebutants, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you look around and you go, who are these people? And then guess who one of them was?
What?
David Lynch.
No, you wish. It was well, Brent did spot her, but then I knew exactly who he was talking about. It was
Renee Zellweger.
No, you
Okay.
probably won't know, Nike. Hate to say it, but this might have been before your time. Gia from Full House.
Don't know.
Oh yeah, she's in.
Her name is Carla Sokolov.
I mean, that's not a huge star enough.
No, I know. A lot of times they're not huge stars, but they are someone to someone.
No, I mean Gia, of course. She was kind of the bad girl. She kind of got Jodie Sweetin into some bad stuff, but then Jodie Sweetin turned her to be good, though.
Well, you know who she was in some scenes with?
Molly
Morgan.
Morgan, who is a
Molly Morgan was in some scenes with Gia.
Well, she was like basically the real bad influence of the crowd.
Was she? I always thought it was Gia, but
she was, because she was like smoking in the bathroom and.
Wait, sorry, that's actually incorrect. I have to correct you there.
What?
Gia was the bad girl. Molly was kind of on the fence.
Brent?
I'm positive. I remember the episode.
Brent, you can confirm this more than anyone else.
I forgot. I thought that. I thought I can't remember which one was the bad girl.
It was Gia. I can confirm that.
I don't think you're right.
I don't know if her name is Carla Sokolov or
Laura's
Marla
wrong.
Sokolov.
Nikki says
it's Marla.
Nikki.
Her name's Marla Sokolov. Yeah.
I don't know who the hell this is.
Yeah,
sorry, Dominic.
Either.
We'll stop talking about
Nikki's confirming in that Gia is a recurring character. So if she was truly the bad girl, like Molly or whatever her character's name was in the episode, she was the bad girl influencing. No? I think you're wrong.
No, they want to have a permanent bad girl who can kind of create some.
No, she's not. She's definitely not a recurring bad girl. That's for sure. She's like becomes good, actually.
She might have become good, but I guarantee you she starts off as the main bad girl.
I don't think you're correct about this.
It's true.
Anyway,
sorry. Dominic.
I mean,
Talk to me.
I mean, well, what's happening here?
What's been going on in your life?
Well,
sorry, Max, I didn't want to cut you off, but
right.
No,
don't cut him off. Max, talk to me.
Oh, I was just so fully vaxxed. What was there? There was something else, Dominic, I had written down in the little.
You've been watching movies.
Oh, I've been watching a ton of movies. So we have like a weekly movie meeting with, much like you guys, with a friend of ours.
With the TV.
You have a weekly meeting with the TV.
No.
Sorry, go
we
ahead.
do like a weekly thing where we'll watch a movie, with a friend, and we'll discuss afterwards. But we
totally tell me.
Totally tell me. But we don't have a podcast for it. But But we been watching a lot of. But we also do a musical one too with another group of people. So we'll watch a musical every week. and I recently watched Little Shop of Horrors, which I hadn't seen before.
The movie or the movie?
Yeah, the movie.
You've never seen the movie?
You mean the movie with Rick Moranis and Steve Martin?
That's right. Yeah.
Hated it.
Whoa.
Sorry.
No.
Wait. What?
Hold on.
You never seen that? Did you? Have you seen that, Dominic?
Oh yeah, I mean I love it. Wait, how have you not seen that?
do?
I'm perplexed. I love it. Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in full. I had only seen clips. I was on the stage production in high school of that, but
I was in the stage production in junior high.
There's actually an original movie that the stage.
But by the way, the stage production is based on a Roger Corman original movie, and the character that Bill Murray plays in the musical movie, Jack Nicholson plays that character in the original Roger Corman movie.
Oh, that's funny because I always thought the movie was based on the stage production.
The stage production is based on the original movie.
The
No,
stage
I hear
production
you.
is
From
based,
like
and just so you
40s,
just
right, or something.
for the viewers out there,
60s.
the composers for the
No,
music are Alan Menken and Alan Menken and who? What's the name? Howard Ashman. Sorry, who went on to compose many of the great Disney musical movies in the years to come, such as Little Mermaid and Aladdin, and
Wait, so what did you think of Little Shop of Horrors?
I thought it was pretty good. I think Steve Martin's really funny in it. I think he's great. I think all the actors are good in it, actually. I like some of the song. I guess what made me think it was only pretty good was I didn't like all of the songs. I liked some of the songs. And it kind of dragged a little bit at one point, but I do. Overall, though, I think I give it a thumbs up for sure, though.
I mean, I loved it as a kid. I haven't seen it as an adult, so
And
I don't
I
really
think
know.
the
if it holds up, but-
animatronics, of the plant, are really impressive. I think they're really cool and fun, And
I
funny.
remember seeing it as a kid and just not liking it.
That's crazy to me. I mean, what's not
I
to
just thought it
love
was so
as a
boring.
kid?
I was just like bored by it for some reason, and I don't know. It just wasn't for me. And I didn't like the music, but I did play the dentist in junior high.
That's funny because Nikki
There you
played the
go.
dentist in high school, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was always getting cast as like the zany kind of character.
Right. You were
character.
Puck in.
I was
Midsummer
Puck in A
Night's Dream.
Midsummer Night's Cream. And all kinds of other gags.
It's funny to say that because it's almost like a Midsummer
Right.
Night's Dream would be like a wet dream. I said that. Sorry, Nikki's correcting me. Oh, by the way, Nikki did say Laura is correct on that Full House bit, by the way.
I told you.
Yeah.
Told you. I remember. I was an avid watcher. Okay.
But anyway, a Midsummer Night's wet dream would create a Midsummer Night's Cream.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
I like that.
That's why I said that.
Anyway, Dominic,
Anyway.
what's going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, very recently I was trying to obtain some cardboard cutouts for a project I was working on. And so I went through like a series of calls to try and figure out where in the Bay Area I could rent for cheap or buy for cheap 6+ cardboard cutouts. And it led me to this guy named Rick Hearns, who has a Laura, I'm not actually sure if I told you this or not, but so it might be a repeat for you, but Max doesn't know. So I found this guy, Rick Hearns. He has a warehouse in Redwood City. And so I called him up and I was like, hey, how much would it be to get several of these, I keep wanting to say mannequins, but cardboard cutouts. And he was like, maybe 15, 25, I just got to figure out something out. I'll call you back. And then sure enough, he called me back like 10 minutes later. And he told me that it'd be 25 each. And then I was sort of like, oh man, I mean, well, what about that kind of 15 price point? I was really, I mean, is there any sort of way that maybe we do six for 100 or something? You know what I mean? I was just trying to strike a deal somewhere in the middle, figure it out. And I told him that, it's a low budget production. We don't really have much money for it, but we would love to work with you guys. And he was like, oh, I mean, my philosophy on deals is basically we could work out a trade. I feel like we can just kind of work out a trade. You know, like you could bake me some cookies, you could walk my dog, you could mow my lawn, you could massage my wife.
I thought you were gonna say you could massage my dick or something. Wait, what?
No, massage my wife though was the real offer on the table.
That's
my
still
God,
crazy
really?
thing to say that, Laura. I mean, can you
What?
Yeah,
massage my wife as a trade? That's
No, that is a crazy thing. I didn't think
it
I
made
even
me
heard you
think-
correctly. That's why I said massage my dick, because I thought I was kind of riffing off of what I thought you said, but didn't actually think you said.
Oh no, it's
going.
the truth. And I was just really
Wow.
kind of thinking like, what is the what,
I mean, it's weird to
like
say
what were
even
the
mow my-
circumstances?
That is very forward. Yeah. What did he
That's
like?
well, it's weird to even suggest like
A massage.
weird to say like mow my lawn. That's such a weird thing. To
I
make
know.
a
What does
joke
mow
about.
my lawn actually mean? Right?
What if his lawn's massive? What if he has
Mow
acres
my
of
What
land?
if his lawn meant like his butt crack?
Oh, I was thinking, if anything, the lawn would be his pubic region because that's
Yeah.
more flat. That's
That
like
is
a
what-
flatter.
Oh, I see. So he's just sort of like laying out on a table.
Well,
You know,
I was
and then-
thinking of a sort of, more of a slip and slide. But anyway,
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
well, like a butt crack is sort of
Oh,
an
I see what
elongated
you're saying,
rectangle.
sort of like the back, like the lower back hairs. That's like the lawn, and it slip and slide into the crack. Is what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't know. I always just think butt crack, number one.
Right.
That's actually
Well,
number two. Actually, that would be number two.
Could be.
I turned down all the offers.
You turned it all down?
Well, look, I mean, the thing was we were able to figure out 150 total for the 6. But I did consider baking
Did
the
you-
cookies.
Wait, did you not question him about wait, did you just say massage your wife?
I didn't question. I did not want any further
You didn't
details.
even want to go there. You
I didn't
wanted to
wanna go
pretend
there.
like he didn't even say that.
But it was said, I promise you. That
Did
much
you
I
come?
know.
So were you face to face with this male?
This mail was on the phone at the time. But later
How
I
did you
was
know- how
face to
did you know it
face.
was
No,
a
that's what
male,
I'm saying. Did you come face to face with him?
I did come face to face with him. And when I went down there to go meet him, there
went
was
down
a dude in the warehouse. Yeah, because we did end up making the deal, but just for straight up money. I went to the warehouse first and met the guy who was running the warehouse, who was not Rick, and he was super friendly, really nice. And by the way, the warehouse is actually really incredible. It has tons of really insane set design.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
you called. We were on the phone when you got there.
We were. I think I was talking to you maybe
Yeah.
just before I walked in to go meet Rick,
So
or
his
maybe
name's
right
Rick.
after. His name's Rick. Yeah, the dude who.
Richard.
Oh, I see. Dick.
Dick. Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
There you go. Wait, but
yeah.
wait,
You mean
when
Dick,
he
comma,
made the-
massage my?
hold on. No.
Dick,
When he
comma,
was
massage my.
offering these quote unquote trades or whatever,
Right.
you didn't even just be like, well, I might entertain like what did you exactly say to him in response? Were you just like, I think I want to just do the money, or did you say, well, I could maybe bake some cookies?
I did. I went
Oh.
with cookies. I felt like that was the neutral option.
So your in words, your
pursue?
response was, well, cookies? Like what kind of cookies? Or
Yeah,
what'd
I
you
was
say?
like, I think I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, maybe I'll bake you some cookies. That sounds good. Like I just disregarded everything else he said. I shut it down. You know what I mean?
And then what did he say to that?
He was like, yeah, all right. Oh, look, we'll make that work. And then later on, he told me like, all right, here's the deal. I'll trade you one of these for a dozen cookies. So each dozen of cookies that I made, he was going to give me one for free.
Wow.
But ultimately, the thing was, it's just kind of like, look,
I'm
I'm
not
not-
going to make 6
I'm
dozen
not-
cookies.
yeah, I'm not going to make 6 dozen cookies.
But what if you bought 6 dozen cookies?
I mean, I think he said make them, and then I would feel kind of shitty.
If he was
Not
like, these
making
are
them.
store bought.
Yeah, I would. At that point, I don't know.
Wouldn't that
Ultimately,
be weird
wasn't-
if you had bought him like some cookies from Hot Cookie, that place in the Castro.
Oh, I know.
Hot cookies, very good. I used to live right in the Castro.
Right. But like, imagine if you came there with these cookies, penis shaped, and then, and he was like, "Hold on, I know you didn't make these, so I'm sorry, but no deal." Like, what does that reveal about this man? It's like he's basically saying, "I wanted you to work for this stuff. I didn't care about."
I
the
think
cookies.
that is it.
I
though.
cared
think that
about
is it.
you in the kitchen
Yeah,
doing some
Sweating.
dirty work for
Mhm.
my cardboard cutout.
grinding that dough.
What is
Grinding.
that? That's some weird kind of fetishistic kind of, you know what I mean?
Or maybe
Type
it's
of
like
shit.
Laura, you're just imposing this idea on them.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like if he would have
Like,
said no
what
to
is
that,
this
what would
weird
that
thing
mean?
reveal about this guy that you're imposing this. Like,
well, what
you're
does
kind
it
of
reveal about him?
You're trying to extrapolate too far about this whole
I feel that
situation.
it means it does say something. He's just like a guy that wants you to work for some kind of.
No, you're the one who's saying that he wants you. He just said, if you bake me like 12 dozen. He didn't say like.
He said, if you make me.
If you make me, right? But you're imposing the like strict, adherence to that, him having to make it though. Like,
oh, I'm just saying if he said, so what I'm saying is either you could have gotten away with buying a 6 dozen cookies and he would have been fine with it because he wants cookies, or
right.
He would have said no, in which case we revealed something about this meal.
Right. But exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think the bigger thing that revealed quite a bit about Rick was that he was offering,
massaging wife,
massage his wife. Right. Like, what is he sitting in the corner jerking off? Like, are we naked?
Was he jerking off while he was trying to make the deal with you? Just now,
good point. Good point.
What if he was like, no, I just wanted you to give my wife a simple massage. She needs a massage. She's stressed out. She doesn't want to go around the house without a massage. I'd go in the other room. I'd listen to salsa music. You do your business, and we give you the cardboard cutouts. What do you want?
30 minutes later, you got a cardboard cutout.
Later, I got myself 6 cardboard cutouts of Donald Trump, Bill George W. Bush, and the rest of the gang.
Right, maybe it was just sort of he was like a very practical person.
What the fuck do you want from me over here? I got Harrison Ford, the cardboard cutouts, Tommy Lee Jones, you name it. I got the whole Fugitive cast over here. All you got to do is massage my wife 35 minutes.
35.
She wants a Swedish.
What's the big deal?
I've never gotten like a full-on massage before like that.
You haven't?
Really?
I've gotten a 20-minute like free thing from a gym thing before, but
that ain't right.
No, I know. Well, it actually felt good. I mean, it was right, but I never.
If you want it, you should. I recommend it.
Yeah, it's great.
I once bought for Christmas. I got Nikki a massage once before, like a.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's nice. That's a sweet thing.
So nobody thought that was that works. I mean, that is very bizarre.
It was bizarre. And when I did meet him in person, face to face, as you said, he was sort of not that friendly to me. And I did think to myself, is this because I didn't agree to massage his wife? Is this because I wasn't going to walk his dog? Like, I did wonder to myself because I felt like the manager of the warehouse was super friendly and seemed very down to be working with me. And then I went to his office, Rick's office, and met him face to face, just like exchanged money. And he was just, I was trying to like start kind of a conversation about, oh, what sort of people do you work with? Oh, do you work with a lot of small time filmmakers or anything? Or is it just kind of bigger productions? And he just, all his answers were super short. Just like, oh yeah, some. It's like that kind of level of response. I was like, whoa, this guy does not want to talk at all. Cause I was trying to just, I don't know.
Maybe he has like some, personality issues.
Yeah, but he was talking to me on the phone just fine.
That's what I mean.
Maybe he has a hard time dealing with people in person,
Maybe he has a hard time dealing with people who don't want to do the trade.
Yeah, I think I'm out. I think I'm on his shit list now.
Or maybe it could be that he was feeling a little apprehensive about seeing people in person since we've been in quarantine so much.
Or maybe he was like feeling embarrassed about throwing in the massage my wife option.
Well, he wasn't masked, I'll tell you that much. So I don't think that was it. I was masked, but he was not. So I think he was not concerned about like meeting in person.
Oh, maybe the fact that you were masked made him even more apprehensive because he was just like, this guy is definitely not going to massage my wife at this point. So I need to to him.
Right. I forgot about the quarantine.
He wanted to set a more relaxed tone by not wearing a mask. And when he saw you with mask, he thought, there's no chance this guy is going to give my wife a blowjob or something.
Right. All right. Should we get to this movie? I feel like this has run its course.
All right. Okay.
It is quite a ridiculous thing. That is so bizarre.
Wait, but when you told us the story, was your kind of punchline getting to the fact that he wanted to do a trade?
Oh, I mean, there's not too much more to say. I mean,
no, I know. I just wanted to know, like, was that kind of something you wanted to reveal?
Well, I mean, You didn't know it, and Max
No, I
certainly
didn't.
didn't know it, and so it was a reveal. Yes, it was a
Yeah.
reveal. Yeah, I was revealing it. Yeah.
Wait, one last quick question. What were the cutouts you got?
They were of like various old Hollywood stars. So, well, actually, not that old. Like there was Austin Powers was in the mix, but Humphrey Bogart was in there. Xena, Warrior Princess, was in there. Um, who's that big, tall hunk of a man? Uh,
Andre the Giant?
no, but close.
He's not Andre the Giant's not.
Hulk Hogan?
Long, like blonde hair.
Hulk Hogan.
Fabio.
Yes, Fabio.
Oh.
A few others. I can't remember them all. Audrey Hepburn was in there. So it was just like random kind of people. I mean, we were kind of dressing them up anyway, so it didn't really matter what they looked like, to be honest. They just need to look like people. They need to be human sized. But anyways, more on that at some point in the future. But I think we should get to this movie. What do you say? What do you say?
Yeah,
Sure, let's get on with it.
Yeah. So if you are watching or listening, we are not going to spoil the movie for the first half of our review, and then we'll make it very clear when we are going to get into spoilers. Normally, I would put up a spoiler warning on the screen, but we can't do that, unfortunately, as we are set up today. So you'll just have to listen closely if you care about spoilers. But the film today is The Fugitive, which is from 1993, and it's directed by Andrew Davis, who also directed films like Code of Silence, Above the Law, Under Siege, and surprisingly to me, Holes, the film with Shia LaBeouf.
Right. It's interesting because basically all those movies have a certain vibe to it, including The Fugitive, and then Holes is just out of left field, you know?
Didn't make any sense when I saw that. I was like, whoa, okay. He was trying something different.
You also notice that there's a gap in between Holes and then like The Fugitive, you know?
Yeah, it seemed like all of the late 80s, early 90s movies are like of a similar kind. And then Holes is like maybe his kind of restart to his directing career. I don't really know.
Right. Well, Holes was a result of Project Greenlight, if I'm correct. You guys know about
What's that?
It was like this thing that it was like a series on Bravo, and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were trying to help kick off like a filmmaking career for these potential directors or writers or whatever. And Holes, I think, was one of the results of this Project Greenlight. Basically greenlighting like kind of an independent film, something like that. But it is interesting that guy became the director for this. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the film also stars Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones, a bunch of other people as well. And apparently it's based on the 1960s television series, same name, but that was created by Roy Huggins. I haven't seen that, but
I haven't. It's on my list of series to watch because apparently it was like it was a really big, like, we're like hardcore fans of that in the 60s. I think possibly because of like the intrigue in seeing whether or not what would happen to him in the end.
But yeah, so The Fugitive.
The creator of that he also created Maverick, and also I forgot the other show with James Garner, Rockford Files. Those are two big shows also. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, so The Fugitive, Harrison Ford, the basic setup is someone killed his wife. Was it him? Was it not him? He does get convicted for it, and he becomes the fugitive of the titular fugitive who is on the run. And Tommy Lee Jones stars as the
U.S. Marshal.
U.S. Marshal.
The U.S. Marshal who's after him, and thus the action and the thrilling begins. So we like to start with our guest here at Totally Tell Me, and Max, what did you think? And I assume you have seen this movie before, right?
I hadn't seen it before. No.
Oh, you hadn't? Okay, so we all have. Laura, had you seen it before?
No.
So we all haven't
I've been
seen
wanting to see I've been meaning to see for a while.
It's been on my list forever,
Okay.
I hadn't seen it since, it came out in the theater, and I saw it in the theater, but maybe I saw it sometime after that on TV or something, but it'd been a long time since I'd seen it. And I saw it recently. I saw it just recently.
He didn't watch it with me. He just happened to see it recently, so I figured he could chime in.
Right. That's Brent Weinbach, by the way, for our audio listeners speaking.
Right.
He's back. He's back in action. Max, what did you think of The Fugitive? Without any spoilers, of course.
Well, I thought it was okay. Sorry, Nikki keeps trying to tell me that he watched it 10 years ago. I don't know why he needs me to tell him to say that. But
There we go. For the record.
just for the record, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. There was a lot of little contrivance. There's a lot of these sort of like me questioning the probability of things happening and just, a lot of little contrivances that it just, but at a certain point I like just kind of grew to accept that as being a part of the movie and just kind of, just was like, okay, I'm just going to kick back, relax, and just accept these and just have fun with this. And in that sense, it was fun, it was all right. It was cool in that sense. There was definitely some suspenseful things in it. And there was like a lot of, I know Brent might say this, there was a lot of music in it. Like one might say even overuse of music. Although with this particular movie, even though I noted that, I wasn't really bothered by it because it was just because of the kind of movie it was. It didn't bother me so much. I don't know why. But overall, I guess, it's a fun, fun thing.
Romp?
Fun little romp, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, there's a lot of these, like me questioning the plausibility of a lot of the things in it, but anyway.
Laura, what'd you think?
I loved it.
Loved
Really?
it.
No, I didn't love it.
Okay.
I
wow,
liked
what a
it.
fake out.
No, I really liked it. I thought
I'm
it was
gonna
a lot
lock
of
you
fun.
up for that lie.
It was a fun ride, and I like multiple times I'm like, oh, that's the part probably at Universal Studios or whatever. I know that they feature this movie in Universal Studios somewhere somehow. Yeah, they do.
I don't.
Oh,
think you're right about
that's
that.
Backdraft. Never mind.
Laura, obviously, Backdraft.
I forgot.
Oh my
But
God.
I always confuse these two movies. I mean, obviously they're very different movies. I know Backdraft is like about a firefighter or whatever, but like the same time period kind of thing for my
It is
in my
around
memory.
the same time period. Yes.
But yeah, I just thought it was really fun, and like I really liked kind of just the style of editing, and especially in the beginning, like when I think it was around when Tommy Lee Jones is first introduced into the picture. There's just a whole little like sequence that happens, and that's a very kind of the times sort of style of I guess editing and filmmaking that is not as, you don't see as much of that anymore. And I just felt like, yes, this is fun.
Is that when
It
the
just
train?
felt very fun,
You're talking about the train situation, or
not just the train, but it was like, I think it was when Harrison Ford, it was kind of a montage, sort of a montage. Shoot, now I'm not remembering it that well, but I felt like it was Tommy Lee Jones, and then it was cutting back to like, I think Harrison Ford running and doing stuff, and then
when
going back
Tommy
and
Lee
forth.
Jones is like, all right, guys, we have a fugitive on the loose. I want a 6-mile radius or whatever.
yeah.
Go check these points.
And it was
then-
kind of
and then
showing
it showed
Harrison
him.
Ford doing his thing while that was all being kind of voiceover, semi voiceover, going back and forth. And it was kind of just laying out the movie, really, in a cool way, in an exciting way.
The movie kind of gets right into it, actually.
Yeah, it's just,
I think
it's
kinda
really
cool,
exciting.
Actually. There's not really, a lot of, setting things up or anything. It's just like, let's get into the action right away. And I think that's part of the reason there was a lot of music in the beginning, because there was a lot of like action sequences in the beginning. But
I don't know. I just think it's a fun, exciting thrill ride of a movie. And, it's fun to just sit back and relax to that kind of thing. It's sort of like Speed in that way. I mean, it's not as comical, I guess, as Speed. Speed is like pretty much a comedy, I guess. But
it is.
this is a fun 90s sort of actiony, semi-thriller kind of movie. And I like these kind of movies, I enjoy them. They're fun. So, wait. Dominic, what did you think?
I mean, I think it's fine. I had a fun time watching it for sure. It
Right.
goes on like way too long.
I did think it
does
kinda
get in.
dragged a little bit towards the end. I kind of started feeling like, all right, let's get to the point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an action-packed beginning for sure. I feel like it kind of, I don't know, it got pretty into the weeds with the ways that it found to dole out information in the second half, I found way less interesting than how it was doling out information in the first half. Probably just because there was less information that they were giving us in the first half, and I think once it needed to actually like reveal things to us, I feel like it kind of struggled to make them exciting. I don't know, especially compared to how exciting the first half is. I think Tommy Lee Jones is awesome in it. He stole the show for me. Every time he was on screen, I felt like it was much more engaging. I also was struggling with some plausibility shit, but it felt kind of whatever because it's, a silly action movie in a lot of ways. Speed is an interesting comparison too, Laura, because I was thinking about that just because we did it for the podcast recently. But to me, Speed is just so much more fun than this. Like Speed, I was cracking up and just having a total blast, and it speeds by, pardon the pun. Whereas this, like 2 hours and 10 minutes, I don't know. Maybe try 145 or something.
Movies were that long back then, kind of.
Well,
Kinda.
it's funny that you noted that you really love Tommy Lee Jones in it. He won Best Supporting Actor Oscar for this role, actually.
Wow.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, this film, believe it or not, was nominated for Best Picture, actually. Do you know that?
What?
Brent just said that. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, now that actually,
I don't
that
know.
kind of puts it in a different category because I wasn't taking it seriously as like an important movie. I just kind of watched it as a fun romp, as you said. I
think you have to kind of look at it.
They put fun romps in Oscar in
do,
Oscar territory.
It is a bit of a. I think part of me thinks maybe like I'd have to get in the mindset of somebody that was watching it for the first time in 1993 or 92, 93, because they were doing a lot of, especially visual things that were kind of stunning. Like for instance, part of this on a technical level, they did this thing that wasn't as used as much until maybe the 80s and the early 90s, called front projection. Like about rear projection. You know about that, I'm assuming, Dominic.
You mean in movie theaters, rear projection and front projection?
In movies where they're like, it's like a fake background or something like that, and they'll project something onto like a screen to make it look like the actor is somewhere else, basically. But they did a thing called front projection with this film, and they did it also in Under Siege, I think, also as well. And they did a variation on it, which created this kind of very, like, they were able to highlight the special effects in a very cool way, I think. Anyway.
The practical effects were pretty stunning, I would say, especially in certain sequences that I'll discuss in more detail later. I don't think it's a spoiler, though, to just mention the train sequence. I feel like that was pretty exciting. And I was really impressed with just the practical effects with that. Because you just think to now that would just all be CG. And it's crazy that it's just so important, I think, to remember that you can do this.
I know.
Like these scenes can be done. Brent, you got your hand up. You may speak.
I want to say this. Well, a couple things. I mean, I hadn't seen the movie since I probably saw it in the theater, but I realized when I saw it originally in the theater how contrived so much of it is, of the story, and just things that move the plot. It's actually preposterous, a lot of the things that happen. But despite that, I think it's still entertaining to watch and, have fun with. Now, about the train sequence, though, that the wreck from the train and the bus is still around. The wreck they shot that, I think, in North Carolina or South Carolina, and you can go visit it. And the train and the bus wreck is still there. And
that bus wreck was crazy. Like, I was watching that. I was like, this isn't a miniature one. And like, and that shit was just really bending and twisting and jiving to
people go and seek it out. You can go seek it out in wherever, you can.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Both those sequences back to back, I guess, were pretty exciting. That was a huge highlight for sure.
Oh, the bus. Oh, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I should.
Yeah. Well, just those sequences. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a good segue into the spoilers, unless anybody else wanted to just say anything before that.
The other interesting thing about the movie is that I found this to be perplexing, is that and I don't think this is a spoiler, but Julianne Moore got fourth billing in this movie.
Yeah.
Fourth billing, and she's in one scene, 2 scenes or something.
Yeah.
Has hardly any scenes.
She's a cameo.
I know. I thought that she was going to be a big role in it once she
As
appeared.
did I. I mean,
Right,
she was
as
on the
did
title
I.
credit,
I-
the
but
it
opening
also-
credit.
I looked into
it
and
almost made
apparently-
it seem like that there might have been some sort of she had something more. Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Here's what it
but
is. Oh, you know the answer to this, right, Max?
No, go ahead. What?
Oh, it basically her role was supposed to be more significant and bigger.
Oh, I did not.
And then they edited it out at Harrison Ford's request, and also I think other people involved in the movie wanted it out because it didn't seem to make a lot of sense. And which I'll get into that in the spoilers of what that means.
Harrison Ford was like, she's a woman. It doesn't make sense for her to have.
How would she understand?
Why would she be in this movie?
She needs to be cooking.
Yeah, I don't understand why she's wearing a
Should
uniform.
be in the kitchen. Don't
Why
you
is
think?
she wearing a uniform? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like a woman doctor? That doesn't seem right.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, don't you understand?
I don't want people to get the wrong idea here.
That's too
about
complicated.
What women should be doing.
Well, speaking of which, actually, if we did get into spoilers, anyway, go ahead, Brent.
Well, he's basically, if there's not a scene of me slapping her around, then we shouldn't have her be in the movie at all, pretty much. So we should cut most of her scenes. Okay, so let me say this. So I think that by even though they deleted a lot of her scenes, I think the deal was worked out already ahead of time that she was going to get fourth billing, and I think that didn't change, like when she signed on to do the movie, even though this is an early movie for her.
Right, I was going to say this must have been one of her first starring roles.
It was one of her big roles. I think a big breakout for her was Shortcuts, but
Shortcuts is on my list.
But I think the deal was in place already for her to have fourth billing, and even though she is, but here's the other odd thing about the movie, and we could talk about this, Max, you had a thing to say about it, but third billing is the woman who plays
Celia Ward.
Her name. It plays Harrison Ford's wife in the movie.
She's barely in it. Yeah,
she's hardly in the movie.
Hardly in the movie.
And yet she's third billed, which is kind of strange.
Third billed.
That makes more sense.
No, but any of the U.S. Marshals that were not Tommy Lee Jones had way more screen time than the wife did.
I know, but the wife is like a central figure in the plot line. I feel like that makes some sense. No, it does.
But you would think that maybe like the bad guy will like the one-armed man might be a higher build or something like that.
That's a total spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
It is kind of.
Well, we could just how about we just transition to spoilers?
You know what? The movie came out in 90 something. Let's just move on.
All right. Look, if we want to go into spoilers, by the way, this was a TV series, and the one-armed man is a famous character in that series, by the way. But
let's just make it clear though, like we will now be talking spoilers, so if you do care about spoilers, you should tune out.
That's not a spoiler, by the way, Laura, because in the beginning he kept claiming that it was a one-armed man actually that killed her.
No, but you're saying he's the bad guy or whatever.
This is not a spoiler, by the way. This is just a little inside scoop that Max wanted to bring up. Go ahead.
Well, let me bring it up. So as Nikki was trying to yell out to me just now, Celia Ward was more famous at the time because she was on a show called Sisters.
I remember it.
A pretty well-known.
That's where she was from. I was like,
and
how do I know?
Guess who was in that TV series, Laura? If you remember,
Dustin Berkowitz.
Yeah.
Berkowitz.
You said Berkowitz.
I know. I was joking.
Dustin was a childhood friend of Brent's, by the way.
I think it's with a W, but pronounced with a V. I don't know.
So with spoilers enabled, maybe we should just brief over. What?
Not you.
What did Brent say?
We should just brief over, where this kind of develops ever so quickly. I mean, there's a lot of plot points, but I think overall we begin to learn, or we learn pretty quickly that Harrison Ford very likely did not kill his wife. Though I will say I was still thinking early on, like maybe he did.
Maybe me too.
I watched the film with Anton today, right before this podcast was supposed to start, and his first comment was like, "Oh, he seems so guilty, doesn't he?" And I was like, "Oh, thanks a lot. He's clearly guilty or something." And then I was like, after 5 minutes, I totally just called the whole thing.
I mean, okay, this is not a hard
Wait.
stretch to call the whole thing in a way.
What do you mean to call the whole thing? I mean,
I
there's
knew
no
what
way you
was
could
gonna.
possibly
I
know.
called what was gonna happen by the end of it.
I mean,
There's so many details.
I know.
I mean, do you just mean if he's innocent or guilty?
Not just
Right.
but I also figured out how the ending would unfold. I figured out exactly like not just if he's innocent.
You're like,
or
okay,
guilty.
here's the deal. So one of his business partners must have had a deal with him.
Possibly know after.
It's
I
like-
didn't call the whole plot. I called about basically what the end would reveal, not just his innocence, but also like the fact that like he would be on the run and then they would finally get him. They'd
It's
get
called The
bad guy.
Fugitive.
No, I mean, well, yeah, it's called The Fugitive.
Called
then-
it. He's a fugitive.
But no, but like I knew that he was innocent, but I called that they were gonna find out that he was innocent and that they were gonna get the bad guys.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Laura, you have either one of you have.
No,
one of
that's
two
not the
op-
only way. That's not
You
the
have one
only way.
of two options. No,
He
but
could have
the way
been
you-
innocent and died. But that was not a likely thing to have happen in the 90s because they
So-
usually didn't kill the main person.
So you're
But-
saying between like 4 outcomes that are very broad, you guess the correct one.
I mean,
Well, it seemed obvious.
well, anyway.
I mean,
Look, I'm really
anyways, I
smart when it
mean,
comes to that
predicting
sort
or
of
not, there's many more details that are revealed that I found to be kind of like almost distracting at times. I don't know how you guys felt about the doling out of information in the second half, but to me, it was just
Sure.
kind of like, okay, I mean, I don't even know if we need all these details necessarily.
Well, there's a lot
There
of
was-
There's a lot of contrivances in, and I mean, even just the very beginning, the very fact that he has this very thick, full, scruffy beard, so that he can shave it later to disguise himself a little bit better.
Oh man, that scene where the seal award or whatever.
As a surgeon, like I was even looking it up afterwards, just like
He wouldn't have that, or he'd have to wear a
would he
beard
have that
net.
as a surgeon? And it is a controversial issue actually in the surgeon, just to have any facial hair at all. But that he has a thick one too is like,
Well,
okay,
I just-
clearly they're going to use this so that he can shave it later to like.
well, they could have given him a fake beard. He could have gotten a fake beard later, maybe. But
Well,
can
that
I
would
just
have
say
been more
one thing?
plausible. Though.
Wait, me too. But really quick, that scene where it flashes back to him and Celia Ward, like his wife or whatever, you know,
Oh, and he's kissing her with his
making
beard?
out. He's kissing her with his beard, and I thought, yuck. It just looked so like not something I would want to kiss. You know what I mean? It just seems prickly.
Well, apparently originally the beard was going to be meant to be on him the entire movie, but they didn't like that. The producers or the studio wanted to see Harrison Ford's face, so they didn't like the idea of hiding his face over the beard and having him look all old and stuff.
As
So-
did I. I was like, get that shit out of
Well,
there.
it's kind of funny how you see him blossom into a young man through, like he starts as an old man in the beginning of the movie, and then gradually his hair,
He
turns
dyes his
darker,
hair,
and
he dyes his hair.
becomes this strapping young, man that we're used to from, Indiana Jones or something.
This wasn't
Yeah,
a
but
totally
also-
far cry from Indiana Jones, by the way, just in terms of all this stuff. Which I just the other night was watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then we watched Temple of Doom. So it's kind of I'm on a bit of a Harrison Ford kick, if you want to call it that. And it's a lot of fun.
What about that total? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What about that total tangent where Tommy Lee Jones and co raid that one house and thinking that Harrison Ford's going to be in there or whatever, and then they just
it's like that
barge
couple?
in and like terrorize this couple, kill one of them, and then they're like, "Whoops, I guess we fucked up," and then that is just completely discarded.
No,
like
no,
the pin on it is his conversation where he's like, well, I mean, what do you expect? He was gonna kill one of my guys, and he like hangs up the phone. I'm like, wait, what?
He was
Right.
the other prisoner.
He was the other prisoner that escaped.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I missed that.
Oh.
I kind
Never
of missed
mind.
that too.
There was two people who
there was
escaped
two.
from the bus.
He's the black guy that. Well, he.
I thought that they thought
It's like-
that Harrison Ford was gonna be in there.
That's what I thought.
That's
They
that's
did
what
because
that. Can I just say actually, Brent? That's how what's contrived about it actually is that they like manipulate the audience into thinking that they're going to try and catch Harrison Ford and that we'll forget about this other prisoner. And you guys clearly did forget about that other prisoner
Yeah.
that escaped. And then it's not him. It's not Harrison Ford they're going after. It's, that other guy. But I think also as far as him killing the guy, I think that is supposed to give another aspect to his character, Tommy Lee Jones, in that he is somewhat he's not a great guy completely.
He doesn't negotiate or whatever
he doesn't negotiate.
Well, no, I think they were kind of what they kind of showed, what they were showing about Tommy Lee Jones in that scene was, the guy can be killed. He's threatening this other guy. That's like morally, it's like kind of okay to kill that guy. But the thing is the other guy could have died. The U.S. Marshal who was being
that too,
and that he put him in danger. That was where it's sort of like Tommy Lee Jones is. Oh, you got to watch out. He's kind of a wild card because he could have got that guy killed. That was the issue, and that guy had an issue.
Well, I was thinking about the morality of him killing the guy, actually.
It doesn't seem very moral.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about, okay, does Tommy Lee Jones know, as, he's well-trained in this kind of situation. This guy is an escaped convict, and, is that even a possibility of, what would they do to negotiate it so that his guy didn't get killed, basically, that he's being threatened, the guy, his partner. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. I think it is an ethical gray area. And so it makes Tommy Lee Jones seem like he's not totally a perfect person, he snaps into action. He kills him no matter what, he didn't even think about negotiating, and he could have killed his partner too in that process. Well, and so that's what makes him kind of an interesting character.
I thought they were focused more on the ethics of him putting his partner in danger or the guy in danger.
I also just think, though, he was already pretty interesting to me. That didn't necessarily make him that much more interesting.
Of course,
it felt like a big sidebar. I was like, what is happening?
It was
right
a
now?
sidebar, but I think part of it also that made it seem contrived was when they were figuring out that Harrison Ford was on the loose, when Tommy Lee Jones was like, okay, secure the perimeter, we need to go in this amount of radius. Mm-hmm. They didn't even mention the other prisoner that got away, I guess he assumed that they were dead, but in the same way that cop had assumed that Harrison Ford had died, he should have assumed that no prisoner had died, actually,
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense in the movie, actually. Just a lot of stuff.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff just him going into police territory and being able to get away with getting this.
That is ridiculous. That scene is ridiculous. When it's running
ridiculous.
by, there's a security guard who reaches his arm out. It's a hilarious moment where he reaches his arm out to try to stop him, and he just isn't able to reach him. And I was thinking that's the best they could do is his arm just reaches out.
There's a lot of stuff.
Reminded me of the witches.
There's Tommy Lee Jones, when he escapes out of that place where the security door shuts closed and they can't get out, and he starts shooting the door, and Harrison Ford's able to escape. They should have already secured the perimeter of that building with cops just in case Harrison Ford was able to get out,
it's ridiculous how he's running through and there's all these police officers there.
Right.
They can't stop this guy.
It's like Indiana Jones.
He's wanted too. He's wanted in
but they probably didn't expect him to come to their lair.
Yeah, but the whole Chicago PD is on the lookout. He was in the elevator with two cops. They should have known this is the guy,
They wouldn't expect him to be hiding in plain sight.
But if they saw his face.
These white men, they can just blend in to, very easily,
I guess.
Another thing that was crazy was it was so kind of ridiculous in a way that the one place he stays at happens to be the son of the place is some kind of drug dealer and happens to get busted while he's there, staying there.
It's just from one drama to the next. I feel like the whole thing is far-fetched.
I was fine with that.
I was
fine with that.
There were so many contrivances that worked in his benefit and also worked against him that were always contrived. Like that, the Russian son guy who happens to get busted when he's living there. That was just so ridiculous and coincidental.
Well, I think it's kind of a sign of the times, though, in a way, because I feel like maybe in the early '90s it was kind of just
the people
you wanted the drama. Yeah, people
were fine with that.
They're just give me the drama, make it fun.
Well, it's like the movie Speed. I don't even think the movie Speed was seen as a funny movie, but that's full of contrivances, and those kinds of movies just did really well, and.
Well, Brent, I actually don't mind that thing of them busting that guy at the house because I don't mind that. I think that's fine. I was fine with that.
That's the one thing that made it so that Harrison Ford was kind of in danger again. He was fine if it wasn't for that.
Well, no, there was a lot of things that he was in potential like he wasn't in danger anymore, and he could have just. There was a lot of things like him going to the hospital. Like that whole situation was like the whole Julianne
like
Moore
the kid that he saved his life, and then that's
it was like
Julianne.
they were trying to hammering the point
he's a good guy, and
he's he was a
going
good guy,
to get
like him
Tommy
saving
Lee
the
Jones
kid, and also like him. I mean, I kind of bought him helping the prisoner on the bus that was about to, or the cop that was on the bus. But then, like, once that kid thing happened, it was like, okay, you're really trying to make a point that he clearly
he's a good guy.
He didn't kill his wife. Like, it's just.
But also,
like,
it's just
right,
like they happened to give him he just happened to come across this kid that he needed to save his life, and then leave a breadcrumb trail behind.
No, but not only that, it's like, what kind of doctor is going to tell the janitor, we need your help right now? Like, send this guy down to OR or whatever.
That could have worked.
I kind of believe that one.
I just don't buy that. I mean,
look,
that. They
whether
don't
you
have
believe things or not,
other than
though,
like a nurse or a hospital staff, they're going to ask the janitor to help with that. It just seems so ridiculous.
Sure, why not?
all the stuff starts to add up though to the point that like whatever you do specifically believe or not believe, I feel like anyone who watches this would not believe certain things in it.
Sure.
And I think that just makes you a little less invested in the drama, because it feels as though once you kind of break the barrier of reality, or the world that's set up as reality, then it's like you kind of lose investment, because you're like, well, anything could happen at this point. Like he could get saved by a helicopter who comes out. Like it becomes so far-fetched that you just I was losing a little interest, because I was kind of like, all right, whatever, he's gonna get saved no matter what. So he just flew off a fucking waterfall into
that was
like, I'm just like, okay, so we're way
Indiana
far
Jones.
beyond.
He's Indiana
but that
Jones.
is
The waterfall, like they even say the chances are 1 in a million that you could survive the waterfall. I believe they're like saying it's very low odds, but he happens to survive that. I bought
but the problem about that is that he didn't get injured at all either on that.
Wait,
he did.
Totally.
No, he didn't. He was totally fine though. Like
he was limping.
What about this?
I don't
His
know.
stitches probably broke.
But the thing
and
is we all have the point that it broke for us, and that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it was the waterfall. For Max, what was it? The hospital and saving the kid or whatever. But it's like all of these,
a lot of them. It just. But as I said before, they happen so often. It became a part of the movie to me, and in that reverse way, still was invested in that sense, because I just kind of was like, all right, this is the ride of the movie. You just kind of accept that these implausibilities are just going to happen, and that's part of the fun of it in a way.
Two things about saving the kid, by the way, was that one they reuse the audio, or like a different take. Like, okay, so basically when he sees the kid in the hallway, he goes up to him and he goes like, how are you feeling? And then the kid goes, it hurts, or something like that. And then he goes, here, Laura, you say it hurts, right? Okay, how are you feeling, kid?
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Like he goes like, yeah, and then they go to the elevator, and he goes, how you feeling? Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The same.
That's funny.
Exactly.
I think they needed to fill the scene with some dialogue.
Yeah.
So they added a different take of him saying the same lines from earlier in that elevator scene, I think. And also one other thing is about Julianne Moore. Didn't want to say this during the non-spoiler section, but in the movie, apparently the scenes he shot with her, she becomes a love interest of his, a romantic interest.
Interesting.
And the thing is his wife just died, so it seems like inappropriate for him to be. Also, apparently, he was Jane Lynch's character. That was going to be a love interest also, and so it's like this wife has died. He's still trying to figure out who.
They're just like any woman of note in this movie will be a love interest.
Yeah.
Well, that's also.
That was all. Cut.
He's like, if there's going to be a woman in this film, wouldn't it make sense if she's a love interest? Because if not, I want them cut.
If not, they should just be cooking.
Why there would be a woman in the movie?
Cooking
So
or
no
love
deal.
interest.
If there's a woman in this picture that's not a love interest, I'm out.
It was kind of
So
interesting.
fix it or I'm out.
But also, there was also
That's what Harrison Ford
like a continuity error too, in that when he was talking to his former best friend, he's like, I need you to tell this guy that I'm coming to look at the samples.
Oh yeah, that didn't make sense.
And it didn't make sense because he didn't tell the guy, and yet the guy was ready and willing to show him the samples. It just was weird.
Here's what's weird. It didn't even make sense to me at that point why he would help him at that point, because he helped him basically crack the whole case he did apparently call that guy, and he said, hey,
but that doesn't make sense then why he would call him. It's like he's helping him.
It doesn't make any sense. He said, call Bones and tell him, to get, I'm coming or whatever. And I think he does. And it's like, why is he helping him at this point? And he helps him get the evidence he needs to solve the whole thing.
Also, wait, why did he even help him at all, really?
Well, I get it in the beginning earlier because
he doesn't want him to like think that he has anything to do with anything. Yeah.
Right.
But like, well, couldn't he have sort of helped him to his face, but then sort of let the cops know kind of thing? Like somehow anonymously or something, and just tried to secure him getting captured so that he was just.
Well, no, I think part of that was it was kind of meant to mislead us, but when he said, I won't tell you anything, he's like, it made the way he put a facade on by saying like, oh, you want to know where he is? Well, I just saw him today. Like he was trying to act defensive, but he also was telling the police he had seen him today. You know what I'm saying? So like he was actually like
doing reverse psychology.
Yeah, to us, it made it seem like he was on his side, but he actually really wasn't by telling him the cops that he gave him money today. I
don't think that. I think he just didn't have anything that could help the cops. Actually,
no, but I think part of it was like this sort of like underhandedly kind of ratting him out in a way, sort of, like that he's nearby. He's in Chicago nearby somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't make sense.
No.
As did not a lot of this. Are there any final thoughts? Because I think we should probably start wrapping up pretty soon.
I mean,
is there anything that we didn't get to? Or?
It is sort of just a fun. It is a fun kind of kick back, relax kind of thing.
It's just a fun movie, and like I don't know. Just having watched Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom. It's a ride, this movie's a ride. It's not about, for me, it was not at all really about the plausibility of things.
It's not about winning an Oscar.
Yeah, well, I guess, that does
it
change my opinion of it a little bit, but like,
which is really ridiculous.
That's crazy because, well, yeah, but watching like movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom and Indiana Jones, it's like, those are not about being plausible by any stretch. It's just having fun and you want to go on it for the ride. And I felt like this was kind of in that sort of
I don't agree because
mindset.
Those movies,
so that's what the mindset I had going into this was, so I just thought this is going to be fun, and it was fun.
Those Indiana Jones movies, I do trust the way they're set up, or like
there's
the
a whole,
plausibility stuff. There's no contrivances and stuff, I mean,
what, are you kidding me? Yes, there are.
Indiana Jones.
I mean, there's just so many things. It's like,
oh well, let's not get too deep into it. But Max, any final thoughts on the Fugitive?
That was my final thought. Like I think it's a fun flick. Just don't you don't invest in like the realistic qualities of, or just even there's a lot of contrivance. Even just don't invest so much into the movie, I guess, and then you'll enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me. I feel like it's fun, but like I'll never watch this again. Would I recommend it? I don't know. I mean, I guess throw it on, have a blast, if you will. But feel free to turn it off if you're not having a blast. Like, right, I don't know. It's just kind of.
I just thought it was fun when he was getting chased. Like every time he's getting chased directly by Tommy Lee Jones, I'm like, oh my god, what are they going to get him this time or not? And in the very beginning, I was on the edge of my seat with the train and bus scene. I was just like, oh my god, get out of there. I mean, I know he's going to get out of there, but I was just like, this is crazy.
No, that was a really well done, well paced, and well shot and well edited action sequence.
Right.
And then when they're in the sewer, I'm just like, this is a lot of fun. And then he jumps off into the waterfall, and I thought that was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Sure.
I don't know, when they're going through the police station or whatever, and they're going down the stairwell, I'm thinking this is fun. I'm having a good time.
Right.
I had a fine time. It just went on too long.
I mean, I just think,
I could have done with an extra half an hour, but
I would
say extra half hour.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I think like
it was unclear.
It's not like a necessary watch, but unless you want to just kind of understand, pop culture a little bit more, because it was a big movie, But it's not as an important movie as I thought it was supposed to be,
And now I'm trying to think back. I was telling my good friend Cara, who I saw on this trip, that we were going to watch this movie for this episode. And she's like, "Oh, I've seen that. There's a part in it that really creeped me out." And I'm thinking, what part would that be? The arm, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, the arm? I don't know. I don't think much of this movie is creepy.
I did kind of like the flashbacks in that.
They're so 90s.
No, it is very 90s. But what I mean is
so loud too.
I like the idea of like him gradually remembering exactly what the guy was like, because in the heat of the moment when he's fighting him, you can't remember. You're not thinking about what the person looks like. You're trying to get this guy, and so I like the idea that he keeps trying to go back and in his memories to try and remember what the guy looked like. And
my favorite part of the movie is when the one-armed man answered the phone and he said, "Yeah, talk to me."
Kept trying to tell me, like, watch out for that scene in the movie. It's really good. He goes like, he kept being like, "Yeah, watch for the scene where the guy goes, 'Yeah, talk to me.'" And I completely missed it the first time around. So I watched it again for that scene. And the guy doesn't even go, "Yeah, talk to me." He just goes, "Yeah, talk to me." I'm like, that's not the way you said it.
He does have more of a, like, he has an accent though.
Not really. But hey, it's been fun.
It's been fun, everybody. I'm starving. Time to go.
Thanks, Max, for being a guest.
Max, thanks for being on.
Having me.
Apologies to you especially, but also to anybody who did end up tuning in live. We had tons of technical difficulties, but this will go up as a very regular seeming episode for the audio listeners, so you wouldn't even know anything was wrong. But we will be back in a couple weeks. Actually, this is again something I would have asked you on our off time, Laura, but you're on the 30th. Are we gonna be able to do an episode, or should we push it a week? Because the 30th is your special little.
Oh yeah, we better push it. I can't do that though.
Okay. Sorry. So we will be back on June 6th. Can you do that?
That makes sense. Juneteenth. No.
June 6th is good for you though?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be back on June 6th with a new episode. 7 p.m. Same time, same place, hopefully on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. But if not, just follow us on Instagram and I'll put updates there if there are any. But Max, thanks again. Thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, guys.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.